Kanakitpit and welcome to SUAANGAN. I'm your host, Dennis Allen. We're here in Edmonton, Alberta at Weldco Beals Manufacturing, where they produce heavy equipment attachments such as this backhoe bucket that are shipped worldwide. WBM is owned by the Norterra group of companies, which in turn is owned by the Inuvialuit of the Western Arctic and the Inuit of the East. We spent a day here at the plant where they showed us how they take the raw material and turn it into products such as this. We also spoke with some of the beneficial shareholders who are employed here at WBM and the opportunities available to them and others who are interested in coming down south to work here. So let's go and have a look.
This is where we unload our plate off the truck and store our plates before we move it in to process for burning, forming. All our tubing, angle iron, flat bar is all stored under this roof.
Weldco Beals currently employs almost 370 people. We operate in 3 locations here in Edmonton, Alberta, in Langley, British Columbia, and in Tacoma, Washington.
We're burning a half-inch plate with plasma. Each system we have 1 plasma head and 4 gas stations. Our plasmas can burn from 10 gauge to 1 inch thick. Our gas torches will burn from 1 inch to 6 inches thick. This guy is unloading plate that was already burnt, taking the scrap and the pieces that was burnt for that nest.
Norterra purchased Weldco a little over 6 years ago. And Norterra, as we understand, is owned by IDC and the Nunisi Group.
Just preheating some CHT 400 plate for welding. We have to bring that up to a temperature about 250, 300 degrees before we weld.
How do you know when it's up to temperature?
You got a Tim stick, he just touches on it. If it melts,
I see.
then we know.
Yeah, what we do is we buy the raw material, we cut it to our specifications, then it goes through the various stages, whether it's machine or fabrication shop, and then it's cut to whatever dimensions. Then it's welded, whether it's buckets or cranes. Assembled in the areas, all the cylinders are put together on it. Then when it comes into the shop area, we do the final assembly for the crane portion. Whereas the buckets, they're pretty well, and attachment side are completed over in the fabrication area. And they're put together, tested, and then they're kicked out the door for the final sale.
When the arm comes over, watch it, got touch sensing on it, motion sensing and touch sensing, so it'll know where it's to. Why the touch sensing is so important is we don't crash the arm.
Yeah.
Like when it goes down, it'll touch sense, then it'll go to the other end, touch sense before it starts welding.
Okay, I see, okay.
Careful, Mark.
Yeah.
On the robot, we're using the 035 hardware with a mixture of gas, 85 argon, 15 CO2. We mix our own gas. The reason for it is very little cleanup on the welds.
I sit on a subcommittee of the board, which is the Human Resources and Career Development Committee, and the purpose of that committee is to promote both education, training, and employment of beneficial shareholders within the subsidiary companies of Norterra.
My name is James Barrels. I'm a first-year period apprentice welder for Weldco Beals. I've been working here at the shop since July 5th of 2004. I started here after I finished school at NAIT. I did my first and second year technical training from February till June. And after that I came here and they brought me in. I started the trade doing a 1360 dragline rebuild last year for TransAlto Utilities. And that got me interested in working within the trades and looking for a career within that, as that was my first experience in heavy industry. It was a good opportunity and good future. Lots of things for me to branch out into if I stay with this, so it's what I wanted to do.
The career opportunities that we offer here at Weldco include apprenticeships, of course, in welding, machining, and mechanics trades. We also have technical career opportunities in engineering, sales, technical publications and writing, and accounting. And the heavy equipment technician, very similar. It's a 4-year, 12-month period process. 1,500 hours they're required to log of on-the-job training, and 8 weeks of technical training each year. The educational requirement there, they're looking for a Alberta High School transcript, various levels of math, English, biology, chemistry, and physics.
My typical day starts out with talking to the lead hand, him letting me know what orders we need to get done in the assembly area first. So after we do that, and then we just continue on the day assembling buckets and dozer blades and other such things for heavy equipment, and it just goes by, and the next thing you know, it's first coffee. You come back after first coffee. Next thing you know, it's lunch, and then the day's half over. And then you go back, go do some more work. And second coffee, go back, do some more work, clean up, and go home. And works out well. Doing 410s here, so we got 3 days off, which is really good. Gives you an opportunity to do more things on the weekend.
SUAANGAN, our strength, will be right back here on APTN. Welcome back to SUAANGAN, our strength, right here on APTN.
And it's taken us a little while to really understand what's required, but in the last year I think we made some fairly major strides forward. We currently have 6 beneficial shareholders working at Weldco, all in the Edmonton operation, in anything from accounting to welding to plate nesting to shipping and receiving. There's lots of opportunities there for our beneficiaries to be able to come to us and find a career that they feel is a good fit with them, and we can provide them the support and the training and the opportunity to practice and perfect their careers until they get to a point where if they decide they want to return north, then that's great. We've contributed what we set out to do, which is to help them find a career and develop enough experience that they can go back north and continue with that career, or if they decide that they want to continue working for us, we can do that as well.
My name is Bev Burkhart, and I'm a financial analyst here at Weldco Beals. I'm going towards my CGA designation right now. I have a Bachelor of Management. I started here, I guess, about 1.5 years ago. And my duties include accounts receivable management and credit administration. And I'm doing that right now as I pursue my designation, and then other doors will open.
At this station we're fitting up a well loader bucket which is going to one of the dealers in town.
What size is this crane?
This is 3/8 thick. It's for a 4.5 yard bucket.
My name is Brandon Pope and I am an apprentice welder. I signed up at Aurora College for pre-employment welding, then to see if I wanted to do it for a career. And then after the course was done, I decided that was what I wanted to do. Well, so far it's easy, and as you go along, it gets more challenging, and you get to use your brain more often. And pay should be good. My typical day is grinding metal all day and cleaning up and just stuff like that. I just get the pieces straight off the burn tables and I grind them smooth so that the fitters can fit them in place and so the surface is clean for them to weld them together. I'm at my first year apprentice training. I'm doing it pretty good.
This new crane that we're just building here, this is a customer unit that's sold. What we do is we build our subframe and attach it to the frame of the truck here. It's bolted to the truck frame and welded on. And we're just rigging this one up. We build the hydraulic tanks, all the boom rests, outriggers, everything is built in-house. The cab assembly, our winch, the cab is heated with heat and wipers, and they can rotate. These cranes can rotate. If it's a continuous crane, it can keep rotating around and around and around. There's no limits as to where it can go. Once the outriggers are down and holding it in place, it has free mobility to extend out or swivel around to whatever it wants to pick up.
Well, the atmosphere is very good. The people are, they're really good to work with. The training when I first got here was good. I found out, what my role was, and began doing that. Felt very comfortable, and it's just a really good company to work for. It's good benefits. It's nice knowing that as a beneficiary shareholder working here, it's a good feeling. You want things to go well and the company to do well.
Now, this is material that we had purchased for jobs that are in the works at the moment. Now, the material is purchased so that when we're ready to work on it, it's ready to start, so we don't have to wait for the material when we're ready to go on it. These are components that are part of our OEM product as far as the blade groups go. And these are just ready for the next stage of machining, which is drilling and tapping. These items are cylinder rods for cylinders for our OEM attachments that we build. This fella is currently machining components for attachments that we build. They are bosses that are part of the components that we build. And we do them in batches of about 40 at a time, and it's done on a CNC lathe. Currently he is deburring it. As the machine is running, he is touching up the boss, and he's putting a part number on it so it's identified as to where it goes.
I actually had another job, and then my mom had an interview here, and I wasn't really happy at the job I was at, and I found it very unfriendly. So I decided to come over here and had an interview here, and I started November the 8th of this past month here. It's very relaxed and very friendly, and it's not stressful at all.
I decided to move down here for my son's education, and I've been off work for a year, and I've decided to come back to work, and I found work here, so that's where I am right now.
There's a vast variety of trades and careers, welding, machining, heavy-duty mechanics in the shop, as well as some non-journeyman trades, press brake operator and burning table operator and painter and a number of those sorts of things. As well, we run a very sophisticated engineering department in all three of our locations, where we use finite element analysis, we use the computerized drafting and engineering softwares that are available, and we will take people in and train them right from the first day when they can't do much more than file drawings, right through and support their education at NATE. Our finance and accounting group, we've got one beneficiary right now, actually two, that are just started their career paths towards a CGA certification. Sales and marketing, we've got sales guys out covering all of Western Canada, and that's a position where you need some more specific industry experience, but certainly we can, most of our sales guys have come up through the parts department. We can do a journeyman partsman program with people as well. And in addition to all of this, we are working through our human resources department very close with NATE to try and customize these programs somewhat to what the industry really requires. We have people, our employees, that sit on various NATE advisory boards to let them know what industry is really looking for, so that the courses are geared around that.
SUAANGAN, Our Strength, will be right back here on APTN. Welcome back to SUAANGAN, Our Strength, right here on APTN.
Okay, what we're doing here is we're rebuilding a pinion here. The gear shaft broke off, and so we're repairing putting a new shaft in and going through the box to see if it needs new bearings or whatever it may need. And this customer's unit here, we're working on mechanic here. Our shop foreman is actually working on it because it's a rush for these guys to get back to work.
At this station we are welding out an excavator bucket using 332 flux core. The guy is preheating the base edge up to 300 degrees Fahrenheit before he starts welding.
I was talking with the journeyman one day, and he said the first thing you have to do is get comfortable. And I like that aspect of it, of almost a meditation of getting ready to do your work, to lay the metal in where it's supposed to be and do it right. And it's, I look forward to becoming a quality professional, and I think I shall do that working here.
We have some very experienced lathe people. This is one of the people that have been with us for approximately, I would guess, about 18 years. He's very proficient at what he's doing.
Weldco Beals market is somewhat specialized. We build all of the tools and attachments for the heavy equipment industry that the original equipment manufacturers will not build themselves, because there isn't a standard worldwide for them to follow. We find that even between Alberta and British Columbia, we can't build the product exactly the same way. A bucket in Alberta is a little bit different than a bucket in British Columbia, which is a little bit different than a bucket in Washington State or Alaska.
At this station we're fabricating a D11 blade, which is 27 feet long, 10 feet high, weighs 28,000 pounds, to be shipped to the tar sands.
All right, this rack that you see here is our rippers that are stick mounted onto track type excavators in the range from the 150 up to the 400 series. This is the different categories of machines that we have inventory for, and the ripper season is about to start anytime now once the ground is frozen. The ones that you see a CAT logo on are built for the Caterpillar Tractor Company. They are built here and they are shipped to a central point in the US, and then they're exported all over the world. So we don't know where their home is until it's, so we sell it to CAT Work Tools, and Caterpillar Work Tools in turn ships it to all over the world. And the black ones, if you'll notice the logos on the bucket, this one is for Caterpillar. And these are all digging buckets. These are Weldco Beals product. They're basically essentially the same bucket, only they carry our logo, and they can be adapted to any series of machine. In this case, this is a 250 series machine, which we build our buckets in various category sizes of equipment.
At the moment, the fella is preparing to drill holes for the bearing that this grapple rotates on. This is a digital readout that locates the position of where the holes are supposed to go. The information is on the drawing. It makes the setting on the digital readout to locate the drill where it's supposed to drill the holes.
I'd like to get onto the pipeline project if it ever gets going. That's something I'd like to do, work outside, get paid to visit the north and see what it's like. I think that would be a great opportunity. Great, and also as well to work for the community that I'm from, to help make it a stronger and more viable community within the global community itself, as I imagine things are getting a lot more quick up there in terms of just exchange of information and ideas between people, and new ways of doing things compared to how things were done in the past.
Well, I found up in Cambridge it's easy to be a big fish in a small pond, so I decided to come down here so I could make a name for myself. And I found that this is a good place to work because they also pay for my schooling as well. I'm taking accounting courses through Athabasca University. They pay for all my tuition and my books, and I do them correspondence. I find it actually very nice to come to work and see Inuit carvings and, you know, things that are from home. And then there's people here that are from up north as well, so it's kind of comforting that way.
For more information on Weldco Beals manufacturing, visit their website at www.weldco-beals.com, or you can email hr@weldcobeals.com, or you can fax 780-455-6770, or you can send mail to Weldco Beals Manufacturing Limited, 12155 154th Street, Edmonton, Alberta, T5V 1J3.
I would just personally say that once you put your mind to something, you can do it.
Don't quit school. Like, continue as far as you can go, and it's hard to find a job if you don't have your education.